Now at 6, cleaning up. The tri-state bounces back after being buried by a nor'easter. The good news for New York City diners and the lingering challenges that lie ahead. Frozen in place, officers rush to rescue a New Jersey driver as icy waters rise around him. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Natalie Pasquarella.
And I'm Chuck Scarborough. The big dig from the February nor'easter is underway. All day, people across the tri-state were spotted digging out their cars, sidewalks, and roadways, even as more snow fell today. And this storm was a big one, the 16th biggest, more than 17 inches in Central Park. The snow fell for most of the day today, and it's still falling in some areas. Storm Team 4's Janice Huff is here with our first forecast. Janice.
Hi there, Chuck. Yep, it's falling in Long Island City, and it's also falling in New York City. Some light snow continues around parts of the tri-state. We're just about done with this storm, but still a few more hours to go. Even tomorrow morning, there might be some flurries around. A close-up look at Storm Tracker 4. We can see those pockets of snow over parts of the Hudson Valley, up towards Greenburgh, down to Yonkers, the city, back to Patterson and Wyckoff. Parts of Long Island, too. Saddle Rock seeing a bit, and up towards Carmel along Route 84. Phillipstown, Newburgh, East Fishkill, which saw upwards of 2 feet of snow. Still getting a little bit of light snow into western Connecticut as well. But here's a bigger look at live Storm Tracker 4, and you can see there's really not much left over. Long Island, you're getting some rain showers right now, but you may still see a few flurries as we go through the evening. The hour-by-hour forecast shows that. We'll take you through the night and into early Wednesday morning. Temperatures will drop below freezing tonight and in the morning, so any standing water and slush will be all iced over. And yeah, there might even still be a few snow flurries left over here and there early at 7 a.m. But we've got a bigger storm coming our way. Maybe not as big as this one that just came through, but I'll tell you more about that in the forecast in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Janice, thank you. I see Montague there in your snow total. The snow jackpot in our area was Montague, New Jersey, in Sussex County. Look at that. More than 33 inches, nearly waist high for a 6-footer.
And Mendham wasn't all that far behind. More than 2 feet of snow fell in Mendham. News 4's Chris Glorioso is live with the cleanup there for us. Chris.
And Chuck, I think one of the best ways to illustrate just how much snow fell here in Mendham is to think about how much Herculean work small businesses had to go through just to cut one of these narrow paths on the sidewalk. We're in front of the Black Horse Pub and Tavern on Main Street, and we watched all day as workers built this giant mountain of snow, and the whole point was to try to open up. And the good news is, tonight in this winter wonderland, outside in the igloo.
High schoolers in Mendham taking a break from their virtual school assignments to bask in their town's historic snow total. This borough of 5,000 is near the top of the heap when it comes to the nor'easter. 30 inches fell here. The mayor says her public works team is exhausted.
But one of the things that people forget about with this much snow is you run out of places to push it because you can't move it. So you just have to push it, and after a while, as you can see from this big pile, you run out of area.
With all that snow removal, it's not surprising this town needs a jolt of caffeine. Good thing they were open at Simple Coffee on Main Street. Here you can barely see the front door over the snow piles. Outdoor seating is a no-go, but manager Maddie King said customers still trickled in.
I mean, we're in a pandemic and you can't be closed for too long. Like, you have to get out eventually and you can't let it really stop you.
By midday, Mendham's roads were much improved. The public works director hoping his crews can finally get some sleep. And over the next few days, he's asking for the public to bear with a little, okay, a lot of snowy inconvenience.
Everyone needs to be patient, and the biggest thing is they need to understand is when the plows do plow their street, we're not blocking their driveways intentionally. There's just absolutely no place to put it.
Mayor of Mendham also telling us it's really important in this town because some of the driveways and walks are so long for neighbors to be neighborly, especially when there are senior citizens involved. And we're not talking about just shoveling for a couple of minutes. We could be talking about shoveling for a couple of hours just to get one driveway done. So it's going to take time, but the hope is that neighbors really will help out. For now, reporting live in Mendham, Chris Glorioso, News 4, New York.
All right, Chris, thank you for that look there. Now, in the city, the snow plows and spreaders were also busy today as even more snow fell on top of over a foot already on the ground. And tomorrow, good news, in-person learning can resume. Outdoor dining came back just a few hours ago. Vaccine sites also reopened tomorrow. But the jackpot was in the Bronx, where people saw 19+ inches of snow. That's a live look here at Crotona from above there. News 4's Andrew Siff live in Elmhurst, Queens with the challenges for the Department of Sanitation, Andrew.
Right, Natalie, lots of progress on the sidewalks and on the roads. Imagine if you're trying to get to a bus, though. Huge mounds of snow like this. The sanitation commissioner telling us today, yes, they did as much as they can, but there's still plenty of hard work ahead. Not that they're complaining, but some New Yorkers today wish that the plows had somehow done a more thorough job. We caught up with Nick CANGIANO in Auburndale.
In my opinion, they don't do it as often as they should, and then when they do, they basically just plow all the cars in. I mean, I understand you can only push the snow to one side, but maybe switch somehow.
I was trapped in by the plows, but you know what? Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do to get your little car where it's got to go.
What countless New Yorkers had to do today was dig out from a storm that ended up among the most memorable in recent history. The mayor today grateful for the attitude of most citizens.
Here's my message to all New Yorkers today. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And the performance of his sanitation department led by new Commissioner Edward Grayson.
We were out there all through the night, and we'll be out there all day today. The fight's still on. There's still plenty of work to be done.
But Grayson cautioned those clearing their own sidewalks and driveways not to make matters worse by creating new obstacles.
I need you to pay attention to where you're putting that snow, okay? Because we have a lot of the curb lines that also do abut some of the bike lanes that we have.
Meanwhile, COVID vaccination hubs closed for 2 days are set to reopen tomorrow. Was it a missed opportunity to reopen some of the big vaccine hubs this afternoon?
Public safety comes first, and it wasn't worth the risk to have people out on the roads today.
The governor went on to tell me that everyone who had an appointment for a vaccine will get their shot. It's probably going to be a day or two, but certainly this week. He said there's plenty of distribution capacity. They'll be open once again tomorrow. We're live in Elmhurst, Queens. Andrew Siff, News 4 New York.
All right, Andrew, thank you. In New Jersey, Governor Phil Murphy says that state police responded to 743 accidents during the storm and responded to over 1,300 calls for help out on the roads. Now, one driver is really counting his blessings tonight after a harrowing experience, trapped on a flooded roadway with icy water swirling around his car and rising fast. News 4's Brian Thompson has the story from Keyport.
What appears to have been a panic attack during a high coastal tide in this severe nor'easter almost claimed the life of this man, Union Beach's João Bernardino. A Borough High Water police vehicle arriving just minutes after Keyport's police chief and police captain came to the rescue. Daughter-in-law Ashley Bernardino translating from João's native Portuguese about the rescue from the town's two top cops.
He said that he was actually surprised at how fast. He doesn't know how long, but it felt like it was almost instant.
Actually, Keyport police know to check this location on 1st Street leading into Union Beach. A higher than normal high tide means it always floods here from Raritan Bay. Ashley says her father-in-law panicked during the snowstorm, stepping on the gas.
And it came like up to mid-calf and was in his boots and started soaking everything, and he said it was ice cold.
The car itself is totaled, now sitting in a tow truck lot, soaked inside with salt water. But as for Ashley's father-in-law and those freezing feet,
they're nice and warm.
The two cops who came to the rescue are Keyport's police chief and captain, coming today to check on their survivor after a harrowing experience wading into the ice-cold waters.
He got out of the car and was just standing in one spot, and we were, telling him, come forward, hurry, because he wouldn't get back in the car.
I think physically the cold water was affecting, hypothermia was already setting in, and he couldn't move physically. We carried him, one arm on each of our shoulders, lifting him all the way out of the water.
They carried Bernardino to safety in an ambulance. No after effects today, just gratitude to two cops who didn't hesitate to save his life.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm glad you're okay.
Muito nice.
So just how dangerous can this high tide be here between Keyport and Union Beach? Well, one nearby resident tells me that early this morning, when there was another high tide, higher than this one, a woman actually tried to walk through it. And by the time she got to the middle, she was yelling for help. He did say she made it out okay. In Keyport, Brian Thompson, News 4 New York.
All right, and people are digging out in Connecticut, where hundreds of schools were closed or had remote learning today. The storm dropped more than a foot of snow in parts of the state. Danbury's among the cities that saw the most, with 19 inches there. The Waterbury and Bridgeport areas saw a storm that officially ranked as a blizzard, with wind gusts of more than 35 miles per hour and visibility at or under a quarter mile for 3 consecutive hours.